Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Ijoma here. So in today's video we're going to learn how to make this corset top with a basque waistline. So I used a bra cup for this, and the sleeve is a puffy sleeve, so you can see how beautiful this looks. So for the back, I laced the back, but if you want, you can as well use a zipper for it. So 3 yards of Ankara fabric will be very enough for this style. So guys, we'll start with the pattern drafting first of all, then after that we'll cut and sew. So I have my pattern paper, I have my bias, I have my Ankara fabric. I want to use a yellow bias for this. Then you will buy like 4 yards of boning. Like you can use a Neckline bone or a plastic bone. Well, I think a plastic bone is very okay for this. So for the bra cup, I picked my darts. If you have been following me for a while now, you will know that I normally pick my darts on my bra cup. So first of all, we'll do our pattern drafting. So I will subtract from my shoulder to where I want this corset to start from. So we are going to cut it like an off shoulder. So for my shoulder, I want it to start at 7 inches. I want the neck depth to be 7 inches. So I took out 6.5. I placed 6.5 at the edge of this pattern paper. Then I will mark my bust point 10, my under bust 13, my half length is 16, but I made it 17. I brought it down a bit. Then you will measure the full length of this corset. I want mine to stop at 26 inches, then 27 inches for the allowance. Like 26 inches is for the basque, and then the allowance will make it 27 inches. So I'll measure my dart line, that is from the center of the pattern paper. I measured 4 inches for my dart line, and I will mark a straight line down from the neckline to the full length of this corset. That is my dart line. So if your nipple to nipple is 9, your own will be 4.5. So at the under bust, I will take out 1.5 on each side of this corset. We all know that I normally use 1.5. So if you are just joining my channel for the first time, 1.5 is what I normally take out at the under bust of my corset. I'll take it out at the center, and I'll also take it out at the side. So at the chest line, I'll take out just 1 inch. So after that, I'll go ahead and connect my bra curve. So I want this corset to be a 3-piece. I want this bra cup to be a 3-piece bra cup, a 3-piece bra cup. So first of all, I will draft out a 2-piece bra cup. Then after that, I'll go ahead and draft out my 3-piece bra cup from it. So I'm trying to mark out the curve of my breast curve. So after doing that, at the bust point, that is for the center bra cup, I'll come in by 0.5. I'll come in by 0.5, and I'll also do it at the neckline. So before that, I'll extend this 1.5 inch line that I marked at my under bust. I will extend it down to the full length of this corset. So at the bust point for the center, I will come in by 0.5. I'll also mark 0.5 at the neckline. I'll come in by 0.5, and I'll also come in by 0.5 at the neckline. Then from there, I will connect my center bra cup. The center part of this bra cup, I'll go ahead and connect that. So that is all for now for the center. Then for the side, I went in by 4 inches. So what I normally do is that let's say if your dart is 4 inches, you add half an inch to it. But for me, I have a small bust, so I did not bother adding half an inch to that my dart. So I just measured 4 inches. But had it been I added the half an inch, I would have measured 4.5 for that side bra cup extension. I don't know if you get. So I'll go ahead and cut out these darts line, this unwanted part of the dart. So after that, I will take my body measurements. And how I normally take my body measurements is that I will place the center piece on the side piece so that the bra cup area will overlap each other. Like basically I am closing this dart. I will just go ahead and close the dart. Then I will take my bust measurements and I will add 2 inches seam allowance. So bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. Then at the half length, I'll measure my waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. Then I'll go ahead and connect these lines. So after connecting this line, just stop at the half length for now. Like the line that I'm marking right now should stop at the half length for now. So after that, you will come down by 2 inches from your half length. If you want, you can come in by 3 inches, but 2 inches is just the perfect measurement for this. Come down by 2 inches from your half length. Then from there, you will connect your basque curve. I don't know if you get. I came down by 2 inches. So this will make it 19 inches. So I came down by 2 inches. Then from there, I will mark my basque curve. So you are free to determine how pointy you want this basque to be. You are free to determine how curvy you want it to be. So I just want mine to be 4 inches. That is, if I open it, it will be 4 inches. So on fold, I want the pointy part to be 2 inches. It is 2 inches on fold. So if I open it up, it will be 4. I don't know if you get. I don't want the down part to be so wide. So first of all, you make a rough sketch and then you go ahead and mark your curve. You can see what I'm doing right now. And remember, I closed my dart before marking this curve. So I will extend the allowance line and then I will connect. You can see my allowance there and you can see my basque curve. So you are not going to like measure it exactly the way I measured mine. You are free to determine how pointy you want your basque to be. So this is what I have right now. Remember to close your darts before marking your basque. So I'll go ahead and draft out my back pattern. So here is the pattern paper for the back. I'll place the front on it. Remember, I have not cut out my bra cut pieces for now. So place the front pattern on the back and close the dart of the front. It will not be open. So you can see I'm trying to close the dart. I have closed the dart and you can see the shape I have right now. So you are free to mark out the shape of the side, because the back part will not have a basque. The back part will stop at 2 inches below your half length. The front and the back will be equal at the side, like the joining will be equal at the side. Only the front part will have a basque. So this is the back. You can see the waistline is straight. Then after that, you will come in by 2 inches. Remember, I did not add any zipper allowance to my back. Then after doing that, I also came in by 2 inches so that the back will be open. After tying it, I want it to be open. Then I brought down the neckline a bit, just like by 1 inch. I want the neckline to come down by like 1 inch at the back. So I'll go ahead and cut what I have out. If you have been following me for a while, I think you'll be familiar with how I cut my back pattern for my corsets. So the neckline, I came down by 1 inch. Don't want it to be too straight. So this is the back. So I am done drafting the pattern for the front and for the back. So right now I will go ahead and cut out the bra cup pieces of this front. So before I do that, I want to give the center front a small sweetheart neckline. I don't want it to be straight, just give it a small sweetheart neckline. Then you cut off that sweetheart neckline, and you will also cut out your bra cup pieces. So remember, I said that I want my bra cup to be a 3 pieces bra cup, or a 3-piece bra cup. So you cut out these 2 piece first of all, then from the 2 piece you can draft out the 3 piece. So here's my front and my back. So what I'm going to do right now is to close the upper darts, the darts at the top of the bra cup. Then I'll first of all slash the bust point area. I will cut open the bust point area. Then I will go ahead and close the darts of the chest line, the darts for the chest line. Go ahead and close it. You can use a gum or a masking tape. Then I labeled it top so that will not get confused. So this is our new top. Then we have the C for the center and S for the side bra cup pieces. So I have cut out my fabric, and I also cut out the lining. The center front is on fold. Then all these bra cup pieces, they are two, remember, because we have 2 bra cups. So here is the sleeve. I cut out a long wide Ankara fabric because I'm just making an exaggerated sleeve. So guys, here is the band. I want to use a band for my sleeve. I couldn't find an elastic, so this one is for the round sleeve and this one is for the one at the shoulder. So how I got my band for my shoulder is, remember, I came down by 7 inches before marking my neckline. So on fold, this band will be 7 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, that is 8. So it will be 8 inches on fold, because it will replace that 7 inches you subtracted from your shoulder before marking your neckline. So here is the bra cup pieces. I joined the down pieces, like the C and S, the center and the side, before joining the top. So here is the bra cup. Remember to cut out your lining as well. So I joined my lining separately, my fabric separately. Then I'll go ahead and run my bias on my bra cup. You use this bias to design it the way you want. Then you will place your bra cup and then pin down. So you can use a hemming gum to hold down this Ankara fabric on this bra cup. But before you do that, please remember to run your bias on your fabric, on your Ankara fabric. Remember to do that before pinning the bra cup or before adding a hemming gum to the bra cup. So after that, you will join it to the main fabric separately, and the bra cup for the lining will be joined to the lining also. So here is the front. I am done joining the side pieces to the center piece, and I'm trying to like trim my basque so that I can get what I want. So here is the lining also. I have joined my lining and I ironed it. So right now I will use my bias to design this front the way I want it to be. You mustn't follow the one in the thumbnail. So here is the back. I'll also go ahead and design this back part with my bias. You are free to run it as much as you can. Then you make your loops. So I'll run my bias, and then for the loop I will fold this bias into 2 and then run a stitch on it. I want to get the tiny loop. So here is for the sleeve. I have joined the band to the top of the sleeve and to the down part of the sleeve. Then I slanted the shoulder area a bit, like the place that I would join to the neckline. I slanted it a bit, just like the way we slant our off shoulder sleeve. So here is the back. I am done joining my loops and I am done making my channels for my bones. Then I'll go ahead and insert my bones. I'll insert my bones for the back. Then remember to leave like half an inch space at the top and half an inch space at the lower part, so that when you are turning with your lining, the bone will not interfere. So after inserting this bone, you go ahead and turn this back part with their lining. So here is the front. This is how I ran my bias. You are free to run your own the way you want it to B. So right now I'll go ahead and insert my bones. But adding bones to this corset is very important, and if you are sewing this, please, if you are sewing it for somebody, please add an interface to your main fabric and also add it to the lining. It will give this dress stability and it will look very, very firm and beautiful. So here is my bra cup. It is ready. I'll go ahead and fix my bra cup. I'll go ahead and join the bra cup. So if there's any adjustments, you can as well do that. So here is the lining, and I have joined the lining, the bra cup for the lining to the lining. Then here is the back. I'll go ahead and turn the back with their lining. So after that, this is what the top looks like. Then I'll trim it a bit. Then after trimming, I will turn this with the lining. You can see I joined the bra cup separately. Then you turn this with the lining, and if you are turning, you will use your machine to give the neckline is sharp sweetheart. Maybe it will not be too deep, but it should have a sweetheart neckline a bit. So this is the back. I left a space at the side where I turned it out from. So this is the front. I am done ironing. So after inserting your bones, add water and then iron so that the bones will relax. Then place the back on the front, and then you go ahead and shape. This measurement should be below your measurement. If your bust is 34, make it 33. If your waist is 27, make it 26, so that it will snatch you very well. So I am done joining and ironing. So right now I will cut the neckline. So I measured 12 inches for the neck width, for the arm, that is from the armhole, from one point of the armhole to the other. I made it 12 inches. You can make yours 11. Then I'll go ahead and cut out my armhole. You can see cutting the armhole at this point is way easier. So it's just like the normal way we cut our off shoulder armhole. If you want to add an elastic, you still follow the same procedure. So after that, I will trim off the allowance a bit. Then I will join my sleeve to this. So that is all, guys, for now. My sleeve is ready. I will show you guys how to join. So this is the sleeve. I have shaved the down part, so you just fix the sleeve at one point, and then if you have excess, just gather it around the armhole. So guys, at the end of the day, this is what we have. I think the top is easy to make. It is very easy. So if you're off shoulder, if your sleeve is falling off, you can as well touch it a bit. So guys, please do not forget to subscribe and like this video. See you in my next video. Bye.